Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Tonight kicks off the 2024-25 athletic season as Nebraska soccer hosts Oklahoma State tonight at 7 at Hibner Stadium. The first 450 fans through the gates will receive a Husker soccer scarf. The match can be watched on Big Ten Plus. Two more Husker football players were named to watch lists today. Dylan Raiola was named to the Polynesian College Football Player of the Year watch list, and Ja'Cory Barney Jr. was named to the Jed Award watch list. The Jed Award recognizes the top kickoff and punt returner in the nation. Nebraska men's basketball season tickets for the upcoming season will go on sale this Friday. A limited number of 300 level tickets will be available for purchase at $153 per ticket, including a facility fee. For more information, visit Huskers.com. And finally, the Husker rifle team has announced a new addition to the staff. Kirsten Derting has been hired as an assistant coach. Derting competed at Ole Miss for 5 years, where she was a 6-time All-American. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Heinrich gonna step in back, little G-belly action. There's a man wide open. It's Jalen Lloyd. The throw, he makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Nebraska serving specialist. Kennedy sends it over Vasquez Gomez. Perfect pass, set it up. Fairbanks diving, take Laney Choboy. Bumps it left Nebraska. Harper, and nearly drops. Free ball back. Oh, a block back by Becca, and that nearly drops. And a free ball finally over, block back by Becca, and it does. Becca Alec, she's putting on a blocking clinic. They can't get it over.
Bryce Williams puts his head down, cut off by good defense by Mbako. Now up top it comes to Mast. Mast dribbles once, gives it back to Williams, shoots a three on the way. Got it again! Another three. Williams on fire.
Jazz Shelley, who has electrified this crowd. She'll take a 28-footer. You betcha! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She ends the first quarter in triple style.
Ball's at a strike here on Gabe Swanson, the pitch. Hit pretty well towards left center field. Going back on it is Graves. Graves at the wall, and it's gone again! Swanson's gone deep again! Gabe with his second solo shot of the game.
Billy swings and crushes this one to the moon. Left center and gone. No doubt on that one. 3-1 Nebraska.
Here's your host, Matt Coatney, on the Huskers Radio Network.
And a happy Thursday evening to you, everybody. Matt Coatney sitting in and filling in just for tonight. I love being in this chair. Don't worry, Greg and Jessica will be back tomorrow. They've asked me to fill in tonight, and I am delighted to be with you. We'll take your text and your calls on our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline at 402-413-2400. Camden Cohn is producing tonight. We have a lot coming up for you, and the reason that I am here tonight is Greg has a speaking engagement outside the state, and then Jessica, and I want to get into this because this should tell you how much I like you Husker fans. Jessica is upstairs, up above in Memorial Stadium. Our studios are right outside Gate 18 here at Memorial Stadium. Jessica is emceeing an event for some of our sponsors that I regularly attend. It's once a year, and it's a couple of weeks before football season. And love our sponsors, obviously. We wouldn't be able to sit here and talk to you regularly without them. But the food they lay out at this particular event is impressive. And they don't say that it's dinner. It always says heavy appetizers. And the first time I went to this, I thought, what's the definition of a heavy appetizer? And the definition is great food. Every year, the staff that puts together this particular event absolutely nails the cocktail meatballs. And I'm giving that up for you tonight in Husker Nation. So Jessica can MC that and Greg can go speak. So if this event happens next year and I'm asked to come and fill in on this show, you guys are going to help me out tonight, or I'm going to have a tough decision next year. We'll take your text and your calls at 402-413-2400. I'm looking. We already have a lot of people in our chat on YouTube, which is kind of a side thing. If you're just listening on the radio or you're listening on the stream, that's wonderful. But there's people like Cliff and Crypto King and Justin, Dryce, who kind of have their own thing going during our show. So I kind of enjoy being in here for that. Coming up tonight, we've got a couple of really great guests for you. In hour one, I'm going to talk to, Husker royalty. Tommy Armstrong recently announced his retirement from being an active player. Of course, you know about his great career as a Nebraska football player, probably about 10 years ago. But then he's had a great indoor football career and recently led the Omaha Beef to back-to-back national indoor championships and over a 20 consecutive game winning streak. We'll listen to him. He announced on social media recently that he's going to end his playing part of his career. But what a great career Tommy Armstrong has had. And we're lucky having him as one of our rotating former player co-hosts on Big Red Reaction. And in fact, Tommy will be first in the chair across from me after the UTEP game on August the 31st. And I will enjoy talking to Tommy about his football career. And then in hour two, Jessica Coatney was able to knock out an interview with Jennifer Karson, who was the ESPN E60 producer of a documentary that's going to debut on Nebraska volleyball on Sunday, August the 25th at 4 p.m. Central. And it's called No Place Like Nebraska. And what's interesting about this, and I didn't know they were doing this. I didn't know if it was Husker Vision, or I didn't know if it was maybe BTN, who's also done a documentary on the Huskers, or maybe Nebraska Educational Television. But I filled in for John Baylor 3 times last year on Husker volleyball play-by-play matches. And if you ever come to the Devaney Center, our broadcast position is in what I affectionately call the wedge, up in the corner, which would be diagonal from the Husker bench. And every time I was there, I saw camera crews, which is obviously not something strange to see at a major college sporting event, but you'd see 3 people, a camera person, a lighting person, someone with a big, boom mic they're holding up, walking through and pointing it up at the wedge to get some of that. And so I wondered if there was some kind of a documentary going on. They were given unlimited access, it sounds like, throughout the season, especially during the in-state tournament. They used a lot of Husker Vision footage. In March, they came back. They flew here to do interviews with Coach Cook. In May, they went on, actually on the team bus to Kearney for the spring match. So that documentary will air Sunday, August the 25th at 4 o'clock Central. It'll also be available streaming on ESPN Plus after that. So Jessica had a chance to catch up with the producer for ESPN for that E60 documentary. Her name is Jennifer Karson, and she will be in hour number 2. And also, Greg alluded to this last night on the show. BTN was here yesterday, and they are going around the Big Ten on campus doing training camp visits, and then they put together a package of the interviews they do, thoughts from Dave Resvin and Howard Griffin. And Dave actually will be a guest tomorrow night on Friday night. Have you seen this? Don't go to your TV to watch it now. It's going to replay a lot. I think it's playing right now on Big Ten Network. I obviously want you to be listening to this show or watching it on our YouTube screen. But I thought it was interesting. They really hit a lot of the high points, and really, I thought their take on it was there's something brewing here. That's actually a quote that Howard Griffith had said. And, I'm kind of frustrated with Nebraska being the champions of the preseason and the summer and the off season for years after years. I kind of sense that people out in Husker Nation are kind of like, look, we'll be cautiously optimistic, but we need to see something with this particular team. But I think Big Ten Network did a pretty good job of talking about why there's reason for optimism. I think the only thing I didn't really like about what they did, and I'm probably nitpicking here, is they hit the low-hanging fruit. They talked a lot about turnovers and how Nebraska needs to improve from having 31 turnovers last year, and they talked a lot about no bowl game in 7 years. But they also, I think, on balance, did a fair job about talking about how Nebraska is one of the top teams returning in number of starters, and that's something that I really take a look at, really in any college sports, is who has the most experience coming back. And Nebraska, depending on how you measure it, either has 14 or 17 returning starters. That's a lot, especially in the days of the transfer portal. And they hit on that quite a bit. But nitpicking here a little bit, I really thought they didn't talk enough about the Nebraska offensive line. They had interviews with some of the defensive players. They got the Polar Bear. They got Nash Hutmaker. They got John Bullock. They had a lot of the coaches on. But they touched on the offensive line. But, friends, I'm going to tell you from my chair, the offensive line is as important as any position group heading into this season for one reason and one reason only. They have to protect the quarterback, who probably is going to be Dylan Raiola. And I think the most important person now with Teddy Prohaska's injury is Turner Corcoran at left tackle, trying to protect his blind side. And, they didn't really talk too much about it, and I understand it. It's easy and it's sexier to talk about the wide receivers, Jamal Banks, Isaiah Naylor. But that offensive line group, Nebraska has a lot of returners and a lot of depth. And I think that's something I wish they would have talked a little bit more about. But on balance, a pretty good job and a good job looking at the team. 402-413-2400 is our text line. It's our phone line to get in if you'd like to visit with us tonight. And it's the Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. When we return, something very special. My dear friend Tommy Armstrong, former Husker quarterback, recently announced his retirement as an active player. He's had a great career in indoor football, and he's also been a coach locally. But he has announced his retirement from being an active player. And we'll get to our visit with Tommy Armstrong. And after that, we'll get to your text and your calls at 402-413-2400. One Sports Nightly returns in a few moments.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Natalie Kerr in Lincoln, Michael Reeves in Omaha, or Julie Null in Plattsmouth.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Matt Coatney filling in for Jessica Cootie and Greg Sharp tonight. And our next guest is, no doubt, Husker royalty. He started 44 games at quarterback, the most in program history for the Big Red. He ended his career in Lincoln as Nebraska's all-time leader in passing yards and touchdowns. He held the record for total offense at the end of his career, and in his 45 games here at Nebraska, he threw for almost 9,000 yards, 67 touchdowns. He ran for almost 2,000 yards, 24 TDs. And just 2 months ago, he won his second straight indoor football league championship as he and the Omaha Beef won the 2024 National Arena League Championship. He was the MVP of the game, and the win was the Beef's 20th in a row. And he's also one of my co-hosts on Big Red Reaction after our Husker football broadcast. And as much as we love to talk to this guy anytime, tonight is special because he recently announced his retirement as an active player from football. Tommy Armstrong is who I'm talking about. Of course, he's in studio with me tonight, and I couldn't be more honored to have him here. Tommy Gunn, T-Gun, congratulations on just a spectacular football career. We're all very proud of you.
Yes,
congratulations.
Sir, appreciate you.
Yeah.
It's truly a blessing being out here, playing a game of football and being here with you. I enjoy it every day.
Oh, well, you know, we've asked Tommy to be with us since he announced his retirement as a player. Where do I even begin to run down your career? But let me start with this.
Yep.
When did you know you were going to step away from playing? Did you decide after the championship, or had you made up your mind earlier?
Honestly, it was kind of floating around for probably the last year. Having an undefeated season last year, it was it was kind of like, okay, well, you don't want to go out one and done, undefeated MVP, and then we did it twice. And my body's just, like I told you before, beat to a pulp. Actually having surgery here in the morning. So I'm actually getting prepared for that, having 2 kids, and having my wife kind of be the support system for me throughout this next recovery stage. And your body heals a little bit slower the older you get. And I'm just, like I said before, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be able to play the game for so long. But to answer your question, it was floating around for probably 2 years ago when I decided to come back and play. I was actually stepping away then. But one of my good friends, Coach Tatum, actually called me a few times and put it in my ear of saying, hey, look, I need you to come play. I'm becoming the head coach. I need you to be our quarterback, a local guy, but I know what I'm getting from you. And I kind of took that and said, you know what, maybe I'll give it another chance, play really well, had great teammates around me, great coaching staff, great organization up in Omaha, being close, being local, being able to just be around my family and have them come to every game. It was a blessing, but now I have 2 kids. And I can't just think for myself. I got to think about my family, think about my kids. And I want to be 50 years old one day and still be able to throw the ball around with my kids. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, going in each and every year, battling with injuries. And at one point in time, every good thing has to come to an end. And I'm just glad that mine was a 23-0 record, 2 MVPs, and 2 national championships. So.
Unbelievable. You were the MVP of the National Arena League Championship game. And check out these stats, okay? You were 12 of 15 through the air for 166 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then you ran the ball 17 times for 95 yards and 4 TDs and a double overtime 47-46 win over Sioux City. So you're retiring an active player at the top of your game.
Yep.
Is it hard to walk away from something that has been such a major part of your life, knowing you are still performing at a high level?
It is at times, but I've become at peace with it. I think this surgery is kind of just the stamp to it all. I know a lot of people always have that itch to playing. For me, I feel like I've got a lot smarter. I understand the game. I just became a guru of understanding what I needed to do to get better each and every week, and I felt like I started getting better. But for me, my family is the most important thing. I got to think about them more than myself. Just being able to put them in the right situation, just being able to be there for my kids, watching my kids grow up. And that's one big thing that I didn't have growing up was both of my parents together in one household, but being able to have me and my wife be so inseparable and be able to have our kids around, I think it's something that I can step away from. I look at it as when I actually got my mom to come down here for the first time since 2016. I got to play in front of my son. And this year I got to play in front of my son and my daughter and my mom, and to do it twice, like we did last year, go undefeated, win a national championship and MVP, and I got to celebrate with my whole family. There's no other way better to go out. So it was kind of just like, it's written all over the wall of it can't get any better than this. My mom not being there for almost 10 years and watching me play, and she actually come up and watch me play. Her twin sister got a chance to come up and do the same thing. So I had everything checked off in one box, and it was just like, there's no other way. It's only downhill from there. And I hate to say that, but it sounds cliche, but nothing can top this year as far as like the records and being able to have everybody in the same area and watching me play and watch how well I was doing this year. So, like I said, it's truly a blessing. For the last 20 years, this game's blessed me in so many ways. Meeting guys like yourself, being able to have friendships, bonds, and it's truly a blessing to play the game of football. And most people don't understand that. As football, it teaches you way more than just the game of football. It teaches you life, your bond, your friendships. I met my wife through football. I met most of my best friends through football. And it's truly a blessing. And my kids were created because of the game of football.
My goodness. I mean, Man, you're starting to make me tear up here, Tommy. Former Husker quarterback Tommy Armstrong is our guest tonight on Sports Nightly. Your connection with Husker fans is simply impressive. Whenever I'm out in town, fans always ask me about you. You've coached, you've volunteered your time with many organizations, too many for me to really talk about here. And I guess the best way to really talk about your connection with Husker Nation is you have really not only found a home here in Nebraska, you've really, I think, woven yourself into the tapestry of the community, coming out of Texas and then, originally coming out of the Gulf Coast and going to Texas and then coming here to play for the Huskers. When did Nebraska start really feeling like home to you?
When I first moved here.
Really?
Yeah. When I first moved here, that's the reason why I came to Nebraska, because it made me feel like home. Everything was surrounded around sports. In a small town, like I wouldn't call it a small town, but right off the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of Mexico. It's just the crazy part about it is, or the Gulf Coast, is Mississippi is just, we don't have any professional sports. Right. Everything surrounds high school sports. Right. Football, basketball. Texas was the same way in Cibolo. Cibolo is a small suburb area where they care nothing but football. You get to Nebraska, we don't have a professional sport. Nebraska football is the professional sport of the state. And that's what drew me in closer to where I knew, like, okay, this feels like norm for me. This feels normal. This feels like everybody eyes on you no matter what, and that's why it stuck. And that's why I'm still here today, because I feel like with me being here, I have a great opportunity to teach the youth, the kids, just the game of football and the way my life was surrounded and what I've learned from it. And that's why I'm still here today.
If you were to ask my family, what was their favorite Tommy Armstrong moment or favorite play in your Husker career? No doubt. It was 10 years ago. Jacksonville, Florida, the Gator Bowl, Nebraska against Georgia. They still talk about this play to this day. They were there in the band. Actually, my son-in-law was also in the band that day. The ball on the 1-yard line, you're 99 yards away. 3rd and 14, dangerous place to try and execute anything. It's wet, soggy kind of day, rainy. Most people would say the safe thing to do would be to sneak it and try to give the punters some room. But no, you hit Quincy Enunwa on the 99-yard pass, catch, and run and score, the longest play in school history, the longest play in Gator Bowl history. Tell me what you remember about that play.
Honestly, I remember us, we wanted to go quarterback sneak just to give our punters some space.
Right.
They came out, and Coach Beck realized they're in cover 2. Him and Coach Bo called timeout, and then all of a sudden they're like, look, we're gonna go to four verts. We're gonna go play action. You got one-on-one both sides, and pick your poison. Which one you gonna go to, Quincy or Kenny Bell? And right away I knew after play action, I'm seeing Quincy run down the sideline, and everything else fell perfectly. And it's a tough task tackling him, and he took that hit and took it 99 yards.
Nebraska defeated 23rd ranked Georgia 24-19 to win the Gator Bowl in 2014. That game and that specific 99-yard TD pass is what my family thinks about as terms of a defining play in your career. But from your perspective, as a player at Nebraska, what was either your favorite play or your favorite game?
I can answer both of those for you. My favorite game, I would have to say when we played Miami. That was, I want to say 2014. Mm-hmm. I played Miami at home. It was a blackout game.
Oh, yeah.
And it was crazy. We had alumni here, and everything got rattled, and that was crazy. It was nuts. But we got a chance to come out victorious that game. We were told we wasn't going to run the ball well on that defense of being a great Miami defense that year. But I think we rushed for almost 400 yards or something like that. Amir alone ran for 250. But that was one of my favorite games. My favorite play actually is not even a touchdown. It was to Jordan Westerkamp. When we played Oregon here in my last year, a lot of people don't understand why that's my favorite play, is because we struggled a little bit throughout that game converting on third down and fourth downs. But we ended up calling a tram. We call it tram, but it's a option by R, which is Westy in that situation. I think that whole week we went without completing it, but the coaches gave me a great job. Coach Lang said, you know what, we're going to run it. I trust that you're going to be able to complete that. Coach Raleigh did a great job of dialing it up, and we converted that 4th and 9. I think it was 4th and 8 or something like that. Got that first down, and 2 plays later we scored a touchdown to win the game. So I think that's my favorite play just because of the belief that the coaching staff gave me and Westy, and we actually capitalized when we were under the lights. Throughout the whole day of practice, we did not complete it all week.
It's funny how that happens then. Tommy Armstrong is our guest tonight on Sports Nightly. He recently announced his retirement as a player. You didn't play as a true freshman, but ended up starting 8 games as a redshirt freshman. Mm-hmm. Looking now at somebody like Dylan Raiola and him likely starting as a true freshman, you must have some thoughts on how tough it must be to make that jump from high school to being a starting quarterback as a freshman in major college football. How tough do you think that's going to be for not just Dylan, but really any freshman, you know, if you look back on what you went through?
Honestly, you have to go in even keel. For him, I know how tough it is going to be. At one point in my career, I was a redshirt freshman, and I had all NFL O-linemen. And there was times where I would call a play, and they would change it, protection, they would change it. I didn't really understand, but it's a learning experience for him this year, I think. He's going to have some hiccups here and there, but I think he has to go in it as not as, how can I say it? He has to go into this season with the mindset of, I have to learn each and every week based off of who we play. And the only way of doing that is basically getting thrown into the fire. And that's how you become a better player, but that's also how you become a better teammate. Because there's one thing to play against your team, but also have to go out there to some hostile environments and have those guys support you. I think this year is going to be a big learning curve for him just because the speed of the game is a little different. Integrity is a little different. IQ level of defense is a lot higher. But I think it's going to be a great season for us in general. But I think overall he's going to hit the ground running. But it's also going to be some times where he's going to have to sit back and say, okay, now I have to, rely on the coaching. Now I have to rely on my off-season training and take it a step at a time. For him, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So he has to pace himself. And like I said, it may sound cliche, but as a freshman, understanding you're about to go into a burning building, and you gotta deal with what comes with it. But that's part of being a quarterback, and I think that he's prepared for it. He has a great support system around him, and those other quarterbacks, they're competing, and that's one thing that you didn't see a lot is the quarterback room being so competitive like they are now. Yeah. I've watched a few practices where they just go out there and they're competing with each other. Coach Rule's doing a great job of intensifying the practices, making it a lot more competitive, but you also can see the leadership in a lot of those guys.
I think that's the quote. It's not a sprint for him, it's a marathon. I'll have to remember that. Tommy Armstrong is our guest tonight on Sports Nightly. He recently announced his retirement as a player. Let's take a minute and talk about this Husker football team. We're only 16 days away from a game, all right? UTEP on August 31st. You'll be in here on Big Red Reaction with me after that game. Expanded Big Ten, second year for Matt Rule. So many storylines this year. But from your viewpoint, from your chair, what expectations do you want to see from the Huskers in Matt Rule's second season now?
We just got to find a way to close out games. I think that's the biggest thing, close out these games. Be able to continue to get better. I think we saw a team that got better and better each and every week, dealt with a little injuries here and there throughout the season, stay healthy, but find a way of finishing these games out and having some key pieces come back this year and having just a confidence level a lot higher than it was last year. That's the key of it all. And I think they're doing a great job of every week dealing with certain things like that.
20 years from now, how would you hope, or what would you hope fans would remember or think about you during your career as a quarterback and a player?
As a quarterback, one of the toughest guys that they've seen out there. Battled through a lot of things, but they knew what they were going to get out of me. Just a dude that played with a chip on his shoulder, played passionate. Off the field, I would say a guy that was really great with the community, really good with kids, and just being able to come out here and make a huge impact, just not as a player, but as a person. And that's how I want to be remembered. I'd rather be remembered as the person than the player, because a lot of people say, you know, I remember him playing, but at the same time, I want them to remember my impact off the field as well. Definitely when it came to certain kids growing up, being able to look up to me, but also me coach them in certain times of their life.
Man, how can you, I mean, seriously, how can you not, like, listen to that and not almost tear up? You're returning for your second year as one of our co-hosts from Big Red Reaction. Josh Banderas, one of your former teammates. Zach Potter will be in here, but you'll be in the studio first this year. You'll be in here after the UTEP game in 2 weeks. And you ready?
Yes, sir. Always.
Last year was fun, wasn't it?
It was great.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, when I'm out in town, people are always asking me about you, and they're like, is he as cool in person as he is on the radio? I'm like, duh. You know, Tommy, congratulations on a great career. You know, and you've just done it the right way, and so proud to have you as a colleague and as a friend and former Husker. You're woven in the fabric of Husker Nation, and congratulations on your great career.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
All right, there's Tommy Armstrong. Matt Coatney filling in tonight for Greg Sharp and Jessica Cootie. We'll have more Sports Nightly when we return in a few moments.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian Automotive Vehicles in operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly on a Thursday night. Don't adjust your YouTube screen. I'm not Jessica Cootie. I'm not Greg Sharp. But I am Matt Coatney. I am delighted to be filling in for them tonight. Greg has a speaking engagement out of state, and Jessica is upstairs emceeing a sponsor event that we had. What did you think of that interview with T-Gun, Tommy Armstrong? I mean, I could have went another, 20 minutes with him. I had a lot more things to ask him. So I had a couple of questions on our Woodhouse Auto Family text line that we didn't get to Tommy. Mike said on our text line, will Tommy be attending any games this season? Yeah, he absolutely will. He actually will be our first Big Red Reaction co-host. He's one of our rotating ex-player co-hosts, and he will be in studio with me right here after the UTEP game on August the 31st. And that'll probably start about 7:30. We'll go from about 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. So I know he'll be here for that, so Tommy will be there. Andy in Phoenix wanted to ask Tommy, how often does Tommy think of Sam Foltz? Does he still motivate Tommy every day? And didn't get a chance to bring that up during the interview, Andy. Sorry about that. We ran out of time. I'm sure all of us think about Sam Foltz. It popped up on my Facebook feed earlier this summer, and boy, it's been several years, and what a great Husker Sam Foltz was. And then one of our longtime texters and listeners to this show, now in the Big Ten in Los Angeles, Art in Los Angeles, texted in and says, hi, Matt. I'm a big fan of Sports Nightly and even a bigger fan of you, Matt Coatney. Husker fans are very lucky to have you. Thank you for hosting the show today. You're the best of the best. We love you. Go Big Red. Art, thank you. Love being in here, and this is a lot of fun for me, getting to come in here and host. The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. You know what, everybody? We're 16 days away from a football game, but we are right now 13 and a half minutes away from a Husker sporting event that counts. Husker soccer at the top of the hour will be in action at Hibner Stadium. The 6th-ranked Huskers taking on Oklahoma State. The first 450 fans at Hibner tonight will receive a Nebraska soccer scarf, courtesy of Emeritus. And then last night on this show, our great producer Camden Cohn modeled a T-shirt that the students are going to get, nicknamed the Hooligans, the student fan club for Husker soccer. And Jessica Cootie, I think, was kind of making fun of Cam a little bit about this scarf that he had. Husker Marketing was, do you have it? Oh, wait a minute. All right, here we go. So he held it upside down last night, so I'm going to try to hold this upside. Look at this thing. All right, so, and really the culture of soccer, thanks, Cam, by the way. If you're watching on the YouTube screen, you can see what I have here. If you're listening on the radio, this isn't helping you much, is it? Not really, but it's this attractive red scarf. And my story on soccer scarves, I was telling these guys a little bit earlier. Back about 10 years ago, my son Nate is a humongous soccer fan, and his team is Manchester United in the English Premier League. And they played Paris Saint-Germain at Soldier Field in Chicago, and we went up there, and we did the whole thing. There was an official pre-match watch party at establishment in the north part of Chicago, and so I wanted him to get the whole feel for it, so we went there. We were there all afternoon, at least 5, maybe 6 hours, and the deal there was for each piece of Manchester United gear you had on, you got 15% off your food and drink tab. And my son had on a hat, he had on a scarf very similar to this one, he had on the kit, he had on the jersey that Manchester United was wearing that year, he had the socks and shoestrings. And so, you know, I expected to pay a pretty healthy bill, and I think it was $30 for the whole afternoon. So I was a big fan of the soccer scarf that day, and 450 fans, the first 450 at Hibner tonight, they'll receive a Nebraska soccer scarf. And I believe I read that Nebraska has already sold out the season tickets for soccer this year. There's a lot of momentum around John Walker's soccer team, and they also will be in action this weekend against Colorado State. And Sunday's match against Colorado State is at 1:05 p.m. Central. Get out, and they really deserve your attention now. Eleanor Dale, her time at Nebraska was done, but they've got Florence Belzile, Sarah Weber, Jordan Zaid back. They're all preseason honors in the Big Ten. So Husker soccer, and this is going to be great. We may be able to update you with a score tonight during hour number 2. Speaking of which, in hour number 2, Jessica Coatney has a great interview with the producer of No Place Like Nebraska, ESPN E60 documentary that debuts on August the 25th. Her name is Jennifer Karson, so stay tuned for that. That's a pretty interesting story. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Husker Athletics. We have more of Hour 1 of Sports Nightly. I'm Matt Coatney filling in tonight. Stay right there. We'll have more of your texts and your calls when we return in a few moments.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The 2024 Nebraska football season is here, and we need you to be a part of the Sea of Red Memorial Stadium this fall. A limited number of Husker football single-game tickets are on sale now and are only available while supplies last. Don't miss out on any of the action this season by getting yours before it's too late. To purchase your Husker football single-game tickets, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TL Irrigation are like no other.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker. and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker Football Spring Game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly. Sitting in for Greg Sharp and Jessica Cootey tonight, I'm Matt Coatney. Our text line is 402-413-2400. That's brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family. And you can also call in. You know I love taking calls, everybody. Really do. Let me see here. Mike on our text line. And this is a favorite topic of our chat people who are on the YouTube stream. So, Matt, what are your thoughts? Should they bring back the balloons to Memorial Stadium? Should they? Yes. Will they? Probably not, because there's a national crisis with helium. I think anybody who knows anything about me is, as much as I would love to have balloons back there, if there really is a helium shortage, there's a need for our Defense Department to have helium, and there's a need for things that you and I rely on during our regular course of our day. And if the people who control the helium supply are like there's a shortage and it could really affect a lot of crucial infrastructure, we can do without the balloons. Would I like to have balloons back? Of course. I mean, to me, if you don't have the bands, the mascots, the dance team, the cheerleaders, the flyover, you just got a regular football game. It's so big a part of it, and I know fans are upset about the balloons. And here on the YouTube stream, on the chat, Crypto King says he'll get the helium. I get that, but in all seriousness, as much as I would love to have the balloons back, apparently it's a pretty serious thing. And so would I like to have the balloons back? Yeah, I'd like to have 8-track tapes back also, but those days are kind of gone here also, I think so. One of the things I do want to ask you tonight for hour 2, do you fans, in terms of football, and Matt Rule has been very clear, not overlooking anybody, but as a fan, are you already looking past UTEP to that Colorado game, and is that allowed? Or are you looking at UTEP and say, look, let's win that one, and then we'll see what's going to go on? And then my second question to you, if you'd like to comment on a phone call or on a text, is what do you think will be the main topic of conversation on Big Red Reaction after the UTEP game? Because it always amazes me. You know, I go into our first broadcast and I'm thinking, well, we're going to be talking about how did the quarterback do and how was our special teams and, you know, were there any standout people? And there's always a surprise what Husker fans want to talk about in terms of on Big Red Reaction. And people ask me all the time, man, how long does it take you to prepare for a women's basketball broadcast or the football broadcast? And they're completely different animals. And even the people on the football broadcast here, we prepare in different ways. You know, for a lot of the pregame segments I do, there's quite a bit of preparation. But Big Red Reaction is so much fun because there's no time to prep and there's no way to prep. And I love it. I come and I sit in this chair and I open the phone lines and listen to what everyone's reaction is. And usually I'm wrong about what I think people are going to want to talk about as the majority of the topics. So send me a text at 402-413-2400. What do you think will be the main topic of conversation on Big Red Reaction after that opener against UTEP? And then are you already overlooking UTEP to that big game with Colorado? It's going to be pretty interesting, no question about it. That Colorado game is on the minds. People talk to me about that all the time. So, yeah, we'll see what's going on with that. In hour 2, we will have Jessica Cootey's interview.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Josh Ahrens in Kearney, Scott Vermas in La Vista, or Dennis Malloy in Bellevue today.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TL Irrigation are like no other.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Tonight kicks off the 2024-25 athletic season as Nebraska soccer hosts Oklahoma State in just a few minutes at Hibner Stadium. The first 450 fans through the gates will receive a Husker soccer scarf. The match can be watched on Big Ten Plus. Two more Husker football players were named to watch lists today. Dylan Raiola was named to the Polynesian College Football Player of the Year watch list, and Ja'Cory Barney Jr. was named to the Jet Award watch list. The Jet Award recognizes the top kickoff and punt returner in the nation. Nebraska men's basketball season tickets for the upcoming season will go on sale this Friday. A limited number of 300 level tickets will be available for purchase for $153 per ticket, including a facility fee. For more information, visit Huskers.com. And finally, the Husker rifle team has announced a new addition to the staff. Kristen Derting has been hired as an assistant coach. Derting competed at Ole Miss for 5 years, where she was a 6-time All-American. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Heinrich gonna step in back, little G belly action as a man wide open. It's Jalen Lloyd. The throw, he makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Nebraska serving specialist Kennedy sends it over Vasquez Gomez. Perfect pass, set it up. Fairbanks diving, take Laney Choboy. Bumps it left Nebraska. Harper and nearly drops. Free ball back. Oh, a block back by Becca, and that nearly drops. And a free ball finally over, block back by Becker, and it does. Becca Alec, she's putting on a blocking clinic. They can't get it over.
Bryce Williams puts his head down, cut off by good defense by Mbako. Now up top it comes to Mast. Mast dribbles once, gives it back to Williams, shoots a three on the way. Got it again! Another three! Williams on fire!
Jazz Shelley, who has electrified this crowd. She'll take a 28-footer. You betcha! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She ends the first quarter in triple style.
Ball's out of strike here on Gabe Swanson, the pitch. Hit pretty well towards left center field. Going back on it is Graves. Graves at the wall, and it's gone again! Swanson's gone deep again! Gabe with his second solo shot of the game.
Billy swings and crushes this one to the moon. Left center and gone. No doubt on that one. 3-1 Nebraska.
Here's your host, Matt Coatney, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hour 2 of Sports Nightly comes your way, and I am delighted to be sitting in tonight for Jessica Cootey and Greg Sharp. Just for tonight, they'll be back tomorrow night. They'll have a practice report. There wasn't any media today with Husker football. Tomorrow night we'll have a practice report, and then Dave Revsvin from Big Ten Network, who was here with their on-campus stop-in. They're going all over the Big Ten. You've probably seen it on Big Ten Network. They had a chance to catch up with him, so pretty good show tomorrow night. Practice tomorrow morning for Husker football at 8:30. They'll go for about 2 hours, and Saturday from about 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and we'll have a practice report for you tomorrow night. And this is great news. The Husker Athletics season is officially underway. They're about a minute and a half into the match between Oklahoma State and Nebraska soccer at Hibner Stadium, just down the street here. No score, and we'll keep you updated on that. There's nothing better than hosting Sports Nightly and doing a score update on live Husker sporting events. I want to tell you about a couple of things basketball related. If you didn't hear this news yesterday, both the Nebraska men and women's basketball teams are going to be playing neutral site games at the Sanford Pentagon up in Sioux Falls early in the season, and tickets went on sale for those today, so make sure you're going to get those tickets. Nebraska women will be playing the same day as the USC football game, and game times have been announced for any of that. Not only the USC football game, it doesn't have a time, but the Nebraska women's game and the Nebraska men's game up there, those have not been announced. Nebraska going to play University of South Dakota, and then the next day the Nebraska men playing St. Mary's. So November 16th for the women and November 17th for the men, and those went on sale on Ticketmaster.com this morning. So go ahead and get your tickets there. And then it was announced late today that Nebraska men's basketball season tickets will go on sale tomorrow. A limited number of 300 level seats will be available for purchase and priced at $153 per ticket, including the facility fee, 17 home games. And so tomorrow you'll be able to get season tickets for men's basketball. I didn't get a chance to talk about this in the first hour, but I had asked a question on our text line at 402-413-2400 about what do you think we're going to be talking about on Big Red Reaction after the UTEP game. Dennis on our text line said one of the topics is turnovers and another one is special teams and how the offense does in the red zone. Dennis, I couldn't agree more. That was one of the big topics that Big Ten Network did in their campus stop here in Lincoln yesterday. 31 turnovers led the nation among the Power 4 teams. And, you know, that's got to happen. That special teams, I'm a little concerned right now with the injury to Tristan Alvano. I think we have a lot of depth in key kicking positions. I agree that we'll probably be talking about special teams, and I hope we're talking about them in a good way. A lot of times on our show, if we're talking special teams, that's not a good thing. So that could be something we talk about. Doug in Norfolk on our text line at 402-413-2400 said, as long as we win versus UTEP and look good, people will be talking about putting a whooping on Colorado and then put them back in their place. That was another question I had was, are you already overlooking UTEP to that Colorado game? I hope you're not. And I think that Nebraska has been in an unfortunate position. If you look back through the years, really the last time they started with a chance to have forward momentum after the season opener was really the South Alabama game in 2019. 2020 got all kinds of jacked up because of COVID, and the season really didn't start till November with a road game at Ohio State. And then I think we all remember the unfortunate situation with the Akron game getting canceled and then losing to Colorado. And then Matt Rule had to deal with playing a conference game at Minnesota on the road, not on a Saturday last year. So this is a home game against a team that Nebraska will be favored against. And, gosh, I just think it helps so much to start the season, giving yourself an advantage and then having momentum. So I agree, Doug, as long as it's a good win against UTEP and it's not a struggle to get the win, then I think people will start talking more about the Colorado game. Mike on our text line says, Matt, what are your thoughts on the student section? Should they move them from the current location to make them more part of the game or leave them where they are? That's an interesting question because right now you've got the band that takes up about 300 seats and they need to be where they are. There's a lot of things that have to be sorted out, I think, in the athletic department about what they're going to be doing with the stadium. Troy Dannon obviously has a lot of things to figure out. And by the way, the first Nebraska Athletic Directors show will be Monday here on Sports Nightly. Troy will be in here. And then the Nebraska Football Radio Hour starts next Wednesday. And Coach Rule is supposed to be here for that first show. So a lot coming up. But I know Troy Dannon and a lot of decision makers have to figure out what are they doing with seating. And I don't think they can really do much with the students until they know what they're doing with the season ticket holders in any possible stadium redesign. And I don't think they want to change anything there until they have more of a global plan and that they release. I obviously would love to have the students closer down to the field but I don't think right now they're really in a position to do that. Switching the sides of the field, I think, is going to be a topic for Big Red reaction, with Nebraska moving to the west sideline this year, which I'm well in favor of. I said since, 25 years, why is Nebraska on the other side of the field where the TV cameras can pick up the signals? And that really came to the forefront with the Michigan sign stealing scandal. So I think a lot of those things are going to be talked about. 402-413-2400 is our text line number. Last night, Greg alluded to the Nebraska women's basketball non-conference schedule was released, and you can find that on Huskers.com. Click on women's basketball. The women will open with an exhibition game on October the 27th against Doane University. That's a Sunday. That's the same day as the Good Life Half-C, so there's going to be a lot going on here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Then the traditional home opener on a Monday, November the 4th at 12 noon Central. The Huskers will take on in-state opponent Omaha, the Mavericks. That's the Life Skills Sportsmanship Pep Rally. I love this. I always get to the arena about 8 o'clock in the morning for that, and you see students coming in from all over the state. And I know last year we had students in here from Oakland Craig. We had students in here from Clarkson. We had students in here from Wayne, Nebraska. And that'll be really, really attractive for Husker women's basketball. Another big highlight is the men and women are both playing at Creighton on Friday, November the 22nd. And there's not been any announcement on if those will be two separate venues and two separate things. There's been some conjecture that maybe the athletic departments will be able to play a men's-women's doubleheader, but regardless, the women will be playing on November the 22nd at Creighton in Omaha. The marquee road game will be a return trip against Nell Fortner and Georgia Tech on Saturday, December the 21st, and that'll be in Atlanta. The Huskers not going anywhere for Thanksgiving this year, which traditionally Amy Williams and Connie Ori before, and Paul Sandiford before her, always played in some kind of a tournament during Thanksgiving, but that's not happening this year. This schedule has home games against Southeastern Louisiana after the Omaha game, Southern U, South Dakota, which we've talked about, the neutral site game in Sioux Falls at the Sanford Pentagon, North Alabama, Kansas City, Lindenwood, Tarleton, and Chattanooga. And a lot of that schedule you take a look at and you think 18 games in the Big Ten Women's Basketball Conference this year. Goodness, if UCLA was the only team that conference realignment brought to the Big Ten, they would be, I think, the preseason number one team in Big Ten women's basketball handily and a threat to win the national championship. And not only are they not the best team in the Big Ten, I think, preseason, they're not even the best team in their town, because UCLA is in Los Angeles and USC I think is going to be the preseason pick to win the Big Ten. And, man, they are loaded. It starts with Juju Watkins, who I think is going to replace Caitlin Clark as the face of women's college basketball. And they have got a lot of transfers in. They got Raina Marshall back at center. And the trip that Nebraska will make in the conference playing at USC and at UCLA will be absolutely as hard a two-game road trip as any team is going to make in women's college basketball. So if you missed that yesterday, that schedule's out. The Big Ten schedule usually comes out in early September, so we're probably still a few weeks away from having a conference schedule for the men and women. I'm Matt Coatney, filling in tonight, just for tonight on Sports Nightly, and Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Husker Athletics. Well, when we return, we've got something special for you. Jessica Cootie has an interview with Jennifer Carson, and that name may not mean much to you. But Jennifer Carson is a producer for ESPN, And she produced the E60 documentary called No Place Like Nebraska, which will air on Sunday, August the 25th at 4 p.m. Central. They had unlimited access to Husker volleyball last year, and apparently this is really, really a well-done documentary. So Jess had a chance to sit down with her and go through the details of that. We'll take that. We'll take your text and your calls after that interview at 402-413-2400. Husker soccer is 13 minutes deep into their match with Oklahoma State. Still no score out at Hibner Stadium. We'll keep you updated on that. More Sports Nightly when we return.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TL Irrigation are like no other.
Woodhouse Cadillac, where luxury meets performance. Discover the latest Cadillac models designed with cutting-edge technology and unbelievable design. Lease the 2024 Cadillac XT4 Premium Luxury All-Wheel Drive for $559 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year. With approved credit, tax, title license extra, must have current GM financial lease, $1,500 down or trade equity, plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Retired courtesy vehicle. Offer expires 8/31/2024. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian automotive vehicles in operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TL Irrigation are like no other.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for. So don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Shop Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair and Bellevue during the Make This the Summer event going on right now. Receive 2.9% APR for 84 months on the 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4xE. Visit one of our 2 convenient locations in Blair or Bellevue, or start your car buying journey online at WoodhouseCDJRBellevue.com or WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com today. This is Woodhouse with approved credit, tax, title, license extra when financed with Stellantis Financial Services. Offer expires 09/03/2024. See dealer for details.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. I'm Jessica Cootie, and as we welcome you back, we've heard a lot over the last really few months about this upcoming E60 documentary that's focusing on Nebraska volleyball. Coach Cook has talked a lot about it, and so it's actually going to be premiering coming up August 25th. And so we thought it'd be fun to get a little bit of behind-the-scenes perspective on the documentary. So we welcome in the producer, the E60 producer of the upcoming documentary on Nebraska volleyball, Jennifer Karson. Jennifer, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, so we've heard some about it, but kind of, I guess, maybe walk us back to the beginning of the idea of where you guys came up to. Let's maybe see, this might be a fun story to tell on Nebraska volleyball.
Yeah, my co-director, Maddie Runlet, she was the one that actually gets the credit for coming up with the idea. It was something that around Volleyball Day last year, for the rest of America, this seemed like, oh my gosh, this is an insane turnout for a volleyball game. And in Nebraska, this seems crazy. And I think from there, the idea sprouted of why is Nebraska so passionate about volleyball, and how did this come to be, and what is that community and that fan base like? And so it really started with that idea. And as we got into it, we learned that it actually was about a lot more than just, that day, August 30th. It was about even more than the community and what it means to wear that Husker uniform.
Before we dive into maybe some of the processes, can you tell, for those that might not be familiar, tell us about E60 and what are the goals and how you guys go about figuring out what stories you want to tell and how you get it pitched, and I guess just overall the goals and concept of E60.
Yeah, so E60 has been around for a while at ESPN. It was a news magazine show where there used to be a number of different features within the show's format. Now we focus a bit more on, documentary style films that are more like 30 minutes and an hour, 90 minutes. And so we have these standalone, documentary style shows that really allow us to dig deeper and to do a really invested format on whether it's a person or a team or a sport or a moment. And so in doing these longer formatted documentary style shows, the bar is higher and higher, I feel like, every year for the kind of stories that are getting greenlit. There's a lot of pitches that come through every single week by a number of different people inside and outside of our team. And so in order to really get people to be invested and to get that green light, it takes a lot of work and a lot of buy-in to get that investment of, this is the story we feel like we should be spending a year on, 2 years on, to do an hour-long treatment.
Okay, so you've got Volleyball Day in Nebraska, and then the idea comes, and then you start following this team for several months. Was the idea going into it, what did it turn out, what it end up being? I guess the stories that you thought about, you wanted to tell, did it evolve, or did you guys stick to pretty much the concept of what you went into it with?
It evolved. It evolved a lot. And that's one of the beautiful things about doing documentary style work, is you can't script it, right? Like, things just happen. And we could have never predicted that the team was going to go on the run that they did. The people that we sat down with, some of the main people, Coach Cook included, gave us so much in the interview chair, from a level of rawness and vulnerability that also helped show us what the story was going to be. And then, the story continues a little bit after the off season too. So we feel really good about, the story that we have, but it was something that I think at the very beginning when we were drawing it out, you can't exactly plan for how things are going to go and the emotions that you're going to get from people and from players too. So we had to roll with that and let the story. The main thing for us was we weren't going to put our mark on, well, this is what the story is going to be. We were going to let the story come to us and do the best job that we could at telling it to the highest level that we could.
So you guys follow this team through the NCAA tournament, and then you come and do some interviews, I know, in the spring, and then you come back for the spring match, and you guys had cameras there in Kearney, Nebraska. What was your perspective on that? What did the crew take away when you get to come in and really be embedded with the team and get to see firsthand what this fan base is like there in Kearney?
I mean, it's incredible. I played a Division I college sport, but it was nothing like this in terms of the celebrity level that these women have. The type of, just seeing the fans interact with them, even at the banquet the day before the game. And it's not just young girls either. It's boys, it's older women, older men, people of all types that are so invested in the team. And, early on, I was trying to figure out how is this fan base different? And I think one of the things that our production team really realized after being embedded was that it is a two-way street. It's not just a fan base where the fans are giving. The reason why it is what it is in Nebraska is because the team, and I feel like Coach Cook and the staff really do try to give so much of themselves to the fans in an authentic way. I mean, the bus did not leave the spring game until every single autograph was signed after that spring match. And it must have been 3+ hours that they smiled for every single person, took pictures. It was incredible.
So you just mentioned you played a Division I college sport. I know you've covered a lot of different teams, a lot of different programs. After being embedded with this program and getting to have the conversations that you had and some of the experiences, what is it, do you think, that sets this program apart that allows Coach Cook and Nebraska to continue to be really at the top of the sport year in and year out?
That was one of the things that I was going to try to figure out when we started telling the story. So it's a great question that you ask, especially because one of the themes for the story that we tell is that this was a team with no seniors. And so how do you take a team that has never played they've never played together before. They're coming in as, a number of them coming in as freshmen, Merritt Beeson coming in as a transfer. How does Coach Cook year after year get these women to buy in to the culture that is Nebraska volleyball? And that was a question that we set out trying to answer. And I feel like the short answer is that it's really treated like a family, and Coach Cook really invests in the relationships and treating each person not necessarily the same. Like each person is different and has different needs, and he has evolved so much over the years that we were able to notice that when the players see that he's putting in that effort, it helps them to see that he's setting this example and for them to follow. And so I feel like we were able to get that answer, and it was really amazing to kind of sit back and watch it in real life of how those interactions work and how much he does really care about that trust, not only with the players, but with the family members of the players.
Absolutely. So I was actually going to ask you, you had extensive interviews with Coach Cook and some of the players. What were some of your big takeaways from those conversations and getting to really dive in and get to know Coach Cook and some of the Huskers?
Oh man, that's a hard question. It's a hard question because I could go on for a while. I learned so much about each of them. And I can't, we can't thank them enough for being so open and vulnerable. I think especially this day and age, it's really easy to kind of shut down and have your guard up a bit, especially with people who you don't have a long relationship with. And so I just really appreciated that we were quickly able to develop that trust with each other. They saw that that the production team was invested in their story authentically and telling it organically. And I think that rawness hopefully comes through on screen for viewers. One of the takeaways that I had from, some of the main people that we speak with, Merritt Beeson, Rebecca Alec, Harper Murray. I mean, one, they're insanely fierce competitors, right? Which we all know. But I think the main thing was like, they're human beings, they're real life people going through real life things as college athletes do. And I think it was really nice to just be able to peel back those layers and to get a better understanding of what does make them tick. How do they react when they're at the top of the mountain? How do they react when they lose? How do their family dynamics play into who they are as a person? And how has the impact of last season, what has that impact been? And so it was really cool to kind of see the evolution, even just over the course of a year.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you were on the bus, right? Pulling into Kearney?
Yep.
What was that like? Just being on the bus with the team and just then pulling into the gym, just overall, I got to imagine that it had to be a unique experience.
It was, yeah. Super small town. I mean, driving on the bus, you're obviously surrounded by just open land and cornfields. And, when we got there, I remember vividly, there was signs outside, not even like once you got to the gym, but like at local stores that said, "Welcome Huskers" and "Go Huskers" on like marquees. And that was really cool to just see how, ready they were for the weekend and how much they were embracing it. When we pulled up, they had an open practice. There were a lot of people that came to that open practice, which I thought was also, again, one of the ways in which the team and Coach Cook give back to the fans is by allowing them in and behind the curtain. And that just helps with that investment level. I mean, Kelly Hunter and Lindsey Peterson and Coach Cook are talking to the fans on the mic during a live practice, which I thought was really cool, and I had never seen that before. And then, the day of the game, I mean, we were there super early in the morning, and I think there might have been a fan that actually beat us to the gym because they were sitting out there waiting for like 4 hours.
Oh, that's great. Just having the opportunity to tell a story like this and invest a whole year and follow this team for a year, but just the growth of women's sports and just the exposure that we've seen and the amount of matches that are now on television. And we had ABC, the championship matches on ABC for the first time. Just, all of that and the explosion really over the last year and the growth of volleyball in particular. What's been your perspective on that, and how special is it to get to, I guess, in a way be a part of that as well in terms of making sure that, hey, we are giving that kind of exposure to these programs?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I think, I've been in this industry long enough to know how hard it used to be to get, a really robust treatment done for women's sports. I mean, it came from a time where we were doing women's sports stories if something had happened to them, if they, not because we were celebrating them as athletes, not because they were just incredible competitors. And I think we are turning that page now of even taking the word woman or female away from the beginning of how we talk about them, that they are athletes. And I think that was some of the feedback that we got even just internally from people watching it, was they were watching a documentary style film on athletes, not female athletes. And I think that's where we need to be. And I think we're getting there now.
Oh, that's great. I know you had some help too from the athletics department. What can you say about the crews here, the Husker Vision, the digital crew that, helped you guys out along the way?
Oh my gosh, we would be nowhere without them. Tyler Rice, Husker Vision, Nate, SID for women, for the volleyball team, Lindsey Peterson, the director of operations. I mean, they were all MVPs. So much of Tyler Rice's footage and the Husker Vision footage is used in the documentary. And they were able to be there for moments that we couldn't. And they had that increased trust with the team too, where, we literally can't thank them enough. I've already joked with Tyler that we need to send him like gift baskets every month of the year for the next 10 years, because they were incredible. I mean, I would be sitting at my desk and say, hey, can you work on getting this for me? And within an hour, it would be in my inbox. So they've just been so great. we are super grateful for their collaboration on this. It really wouldn't have been possible without them.
Okay, just final thoughts from you. For those listening in, what can they expect? Why do they need to make sure and tune in coming up for the premiere on August 25th?
Yeah, I'm excited for this for our non-volleyball fan base and the general sports fan, because I think they're going to learn a lot about not only volleyball, but about Nebraska and about this program. But I'm also really excited about it for the diehard fans, because it really gives you a glimpse into these people and what it takes and the pressure and the expectations that I think, normal fans, they care about the wins and the losses, but I think this really helps them see some of these key people, John Cook, Merritt Beeson, Becca Alec, Harper Murray, on a level that they've never seen them before.
Cannot wait. Again, have it circled in our calendar coming up August 25th, 4 o'clock Central, and then, of course, you'll be able to watch it on ESPN Plus and stream it there. But can't wait to watch it. I know you guys put in a lot of hard work and some behind-the-scenes stories I know that fans will look forward to seeing and hearing about. Jennifer Karson, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. And thanks for spending the year with the Husker volleyball team.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Again, one more time, that's Jennifer Karson, E60 producer that's been working on this documentary on Nebraska volleyball that's coming up August 25th, 4 o'clock Central, and ESPN Plus as well. You can stream it there. Be back with more coming up on Sports Nightly, coming up right after this.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards going to see your favorite team in the playoffs. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can go see your favorite team in the playoffs. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but we cannot guarantee that your favorite team will make the playoffs or even finish with a winning record. They could easily lose more than half their games and finish in the cellar because they stink badly and haven't made the playoffs in years. Savings, very possible. Playoffs, highly doubtful. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates, not available in all states. We cannot be held liable for your favorite team's terrible and frankly embarrassing performances now or ever.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm Broadcasting Major Connor Clark with Campus News. UNL's Center for Transformative Teaching works with educators across all majors on new teaching strategies for a new generation of students. The Center for Transformative Teaching helps instructors grapple with AI in the classroom, use data modeling to enhance student learning, earn grants for exploring new teaching methods, and provides crucial insights that power academic success.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
At Woodhouse Chevy, we believe in the power of performance. Whether it's an adventure with the family or tackling the toughest jobs, Woodhouse Chevy has you covered. Woodhouse Chevy offers many models to choose from and amazing features like wireless Apple CarPlay, lane keep assist with lane departure warning, front pedestrian braking, and so much more. Woodhouse Chevy brings you 2 convenient locations in Omaha and Missouri Valley. Together, let's drive with Woodhouse Chevy.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker Football Spring Game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly. What a great interview Jessica Cootie had with the producer of the E60 documentary on Husker volleyball, Jennifer Carson. Thanks to Jess for knocking that out. She is emceeing an event for some of our advertisers upstairs. Greg Sharp, you got to love Sharpie, okay? So he had a speaking engagement out of state, but he still is interacting with the show. On our Woodhouse Auto Family text line, 402-413-2400, Greg in transit says, has this show been hijacked by a couple of Cardinal fans? Say it isn't so. So our great producer, Camden Cohn, is sitting across from me tonight. Last night, he modeled soccer gear for Husker soccer, including the scarf that the first 450 people get tonight. By the way, no score. Nebraska and Oklahoma State have 10 minutes left in the first half of the soccer match at Hinder. But Camden, one of my favorite producers ever, if for no other reason, he's a St. Louis Cardinals fan. It is tough being a Cardinals fan right now, is it not?
It's incredibly tough. There's nothing to really look forward to right now.
No, and here's some stats, just to let you know. The last time the Cardinals had back-to-back under 500 full seasons, so we're not talking about the pandemic, was 1958 and 1959. Now, that predates me. Anything older than me is ancient, okay? So I think not only is Oliver Marmol the manager of the Cardinals in trouble, but I got to think John Mozeliak, the general manager, is much on the hot seat. So he got rid of Mike Schilt. Last year, the Padres finished 82-80. They got rid of Juan Soto, Matt Carpenter, Blake Snell, Seth Lugo, and Josh Hader, promoted Mike Schilt to manager, and now they have the third best record in the National League. That doesn't bode well for John Mozeliak, the manager of the Cardinals. And you're sitting out there in Husker Nation going, we don't care about the Cardinals, Matt. And I'm sitting here thinking you should, because I'm hosting this show, and Camden Cohn, our producer, is a big Cardinals fan. Have you got to any Cardinals games this year?
Not this year. I haven't.
I'm 0-3. On April the 10th, the Cardinals against the Phillies in a rainstorm in St. Louis. And then they won 2 out of 3 at Wrigley Field against the Cubs. But I was there for the one loss on June 14th. And then last Saturday night, my son Nate and his girlfriend Paula and I went down to Kauffman Stadium on Mizzou night at the K. Didn't that used to be Husker night at the K?
I went when it was Husker night. They played the White Sox.
Okay.
But
so they did that earlier.
Yeah, they did it earlier.
But the Cardinals looked abysmal against Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez. And the Royals are having a pretty good year. So there you are. Yeah, Greg, the show was hijacked by a couple of Cardinal fans. I got to ask you this, Camden. This probably predates you and many of our listeners on here. You game show fan?
Sure. Depends on the game show.
Okay. You ever heard of Hollywood Squares?
Nope.
Okay. Hollywood Squares, huge game show in the 70s. It was hosted by Peter Marshall, and he passed away today, in case you didn't know. I mean, there's a baseball slant to this. Peter Marshall, I think, was 98 years old when he passed away, but Peter Marshall's son, Peter Marshall's name was actually Peter Lecoq, and so his His son's name was Pete Lecoq, played for the Cubs and the Royals. And a little bit of Matt Coatney trivia, I knew this. I'm going to tie it back to the Cardinals. Pete Lecoq hit a grand slam, and Bob Gibson's famous Cardinal right-hander, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest right-handers ever, his last game as a pitcher in 1975. Peter Marshall defined Hollywood squares. Paul Lynde in the center square, and Wally Cox and Charlie Weaver. And a lot of years ago, and my goodness, Coatney, how old are you? But when I saw on Twitter today, or I'm sorry, we don't call it Twitter anymore, the artist formerly known as Twitter, now known as X, that Peter Marshall passed away, a little part of my childhood went away. Jim in Columbus on our text line. Matt, enjoy all your broadcasts. What are your thoughts on the teams that joined the Big Ten, all sports, or would you sooner have teams from the Southwest area? Boy, I don't know. I mean, I think after conference realignment really started, I think I stopped worrying about it when I had to go to New Jersey every year. To me, playing Rutgers in anything consistently didn't seem natural. I was just telling the guys here in the studio that I think I'm finally at the point. We're up watching Nebraska soccer hosting Oklahoma State tonight out at Hibner Stadium. They've got 5 minutes remaining in the first half, still no score. It doesn't seem weird to be playing Oklahoma State non-conference right now. I think it's going to be weird first time I broadcast a game in Oregon, though, as a conference game. I don't know. Camden, you're sitting over there. What are your thoughts? Jim in Columbus, would you rather have teams from the Southwest area? So I guess he's talking about, what would that be, Arizona, Arizona State? I mean, I guess that's what he's talking about, the Southwest area. I don't know, maybe some of the old Southwest Conference teams, Houston, something like that. What do you think about the West Coast teams?
I think it's a welcome addition. Like I said, you got to keep expanding to keep up with college athletics nowadays with the SEC added on, which theirs kind of made more sense because they were in the area. But
does conference realignment bother a younger person like you as much as maybe an older person like me that remembers all these traditional rivalries in the Big 8 days? I mean, is people your age, is it that big of a deal to them?
Probably not. I mean, like I said, you grow up and you just don't know the rivalries. Like we were talking earlier, I wasn't obviously born when Nebraska was good in the 90s, so I hear all about it and how nice that would be. But those rivalries with Oklahoma and Colorado, you just don't really understand. Like Iowa is the rivalry from when I was growing up.
Yeah, my son Nate is in his 30s, and he's had to remind me that, that Nebraska's heyday is, before my time. And that's just, it's kind of strange to me. Camden, go look up Hollywood Squares on YouTube. Watch some of the Paul Lynde videos. That's from Chuck on our text line at 402-413-2400. Thanks, Chuck. Hey, the Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Our remaining minutes, an hour or two of Sports Nightly, comes your way when we return right after the break.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter agent Travis Hawk in Scottsbluff, Jim Mowinkle in Gretna, or Shane Bernhardt in Norfolk.
Husker fans, the 2024 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support in Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $170. This plan includes tickets to UTEP or Northern Iowa, plus Illinois or Rutgers, and either UCLA or Wisconsin. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian Automotive Vehicles in Operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Get our remaining moments here on Sports Nightly tonight. I'm Matt Coatney. So delighted to be able to talk to you tonight, filling in for Greg Sharp and Jessica Cootie. They'll be back tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we'll have a practice report. There was no media availability today for Husker football. And also tomorrow night, Dave Resvin from Big Ten Network, who's been on the campus tours. Big Ten Network's been doing their training camp look at the Huskers, and that's now playing in regular rotation on BTN. Got a chance to watch it. I DVR'd it and watched it this morning. They did a pretty good job on that one. You should enjoy that. All right. Tom from Hayes said he tried to call and couldn't get through. He said, "What is Nebraska's record in football this year? Take a stand. You are the best. Wish I could have got in." Okay, Tom, I will take a stand on the Husker record this year. Look, it's been pretty clear to me that Nebraska's upgraded the quarterback position, the wide receiver position. They have depth at wide receiver. They have a lot of experience on the offensive line and now have depth there. Tony White's defense was one of the best in the nation, and you have to think there's a great potential they can be just as good, if not better, this year, and a lot more experience, a lot of starters returning, and that's one of the big things to me. If you take away 5 turnovers, which I think Nebraska can do a lot better than that, and you take a look at the schedule really kind of favoring Nebraska, they'll be a bowl team this year, and I've got them with 7 wins with this season. I think the back half of the schedule gets tougher. It's hard to forecast the back half of the year because you don't know about injuries. You don't know what teams sneak up and surprise you. But I think 7 wins is certainly attainable for Matt Rule in his second year, and I think a bowl game is certainly the minimum for this team. And I think that's not the ceiling. I don't think 7 games, 7 wins, and I don't think a bowl game is the ceiling. I think that there's a reason for a lot of optimism here in Husker Nation. And as I said in hour number 1, I probably more than anybody am sick of being the winners of the offseason. The fans really want to see a winner, and I think there's reason for the optimism. As I said on that Big Ten Network training camp spot they did here, there's something brewing here at Nebraska. I think people see it. And so, Tom, I appreciate the questions. Boy, this has been a fast 2 hours. You know who was in here tonight helping us produce? We haven't announced this. Josh Hilkeman, a Hall of Fame producer from days gone by on this network, was in tonight, and he's going to be with us now permanently. And he was getting his feet wet, relearning how to hit the buttons. And Hilk, it is great having you back. He'll be with us on all of our big productions. So Josh Hilkeman, a name from the past, is back. Those of you who have been with us for a long time knows how important he is. I'm Matt Coatney. Was great talking to you all tonight. Thanks for all the text and all the chat. Greg and Jessica back tomorrow night. Good night, Nebraska.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing. They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
See shelter agents Pete Voles or Brent Ruggo in North Platte, or in Broken Bow, see agent Brent Custer.
Experience the difference and save more when you shop at one of our 3 convenient Woodhouse Ford locations. And right now, it's more affordable than ever to get behind the wheel of a new vehicle when you visit a Woodhouse Ford dealership. Lease a 2024 Ford Escape Active for $279 a month for 48 months, 7,500 miles per year. With approved credit, security deposit waived, first payment, and $299 doc fee due at signing. Vehicle is a retired courtesy loaner. Stock number FC240429. Offer expires 9/2/24. See dealer for details.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection